Good morning, babies. Good morning, babies.
Well, hi everybody. How you doing tonight? Here it is, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, and so on and so forth. Wow, we got a good show tonight. Wow, we're gonna have 3 dogs on. But before we get into it, we're gonna have our giveaway. Type in hashtag GPRM and give away a leash again, because we were giving away collars for quite a while, but I guess you guys should have something to hook to them. So without much more ado, we're going to get on this. But yeah, we've got, you guys remember Mama Dog and Tucker. That was in our fostering video. Their family moved out and kind of forgot them, left them behind. How do you leave your dogs behind? I can't. But and then we've got 2 coming on. You guys might remember Stacy and Lance. They've been on a few times before. They've got 2 dogs with very interesting story on how they came into rescue. And then if any of you ever wanted an instruction manual for your Great Pyrenees, well, we kind of going to go over one tonight. It's called The Hierarchy of the Dog's Needs. Roman's going to be here, and he's going to help us out with that. So anyway, so without much further ado, I want to get going here. We're going to play Tucker's little video, and we're going to bring him up when it's over. So here we go. Well, hi guys.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
And how's the big guy?
It's good. Come here, Tuck. Come here. Come here. Sit down with you. Come here.
All right. We that is one good looking boy, but he's not very white, is he?
He isn't. That he isn't.
How's he been since he's been there? You know, boy, he had quite the start. His family moved out and left him and his mama.
He did. He's made a lot of strides in a short amount of time.
Wow, he was pretty scared. If I remember right, you and I talked, and he was a little timid, wasn't he? Boy, look at that tail all curled up, and there's his sister Molly.
He was very timid when we got him. When he first came into our home, there were times where we had to sit down to be approachable because he was so scared. But from the minute he came into our home, he took to the children right away. He was never scared of the children. He trusted them from day one. Those are his people. Same with the other animals in the house.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Wow.
He's very relaxed.
I see he's got he's wearing a harness around. Is that his security blanket?
We like to think it's more of ours. We just like to have it on just in case, anything comes up, and he hops in the car quite a bit for car rides, so we like to just be prepared.
Kind of helping to get him used to a leash too, because he's still a little timid about leashes, so it kind of gives us, can guide him with the harness a little bit, and it's kind of helping to break him into that a little better.
Okay, so he's just never been on one apparently, right?
Well, we think that he's got a little bit of PTSD from being left on the chain in the backyard for so long. So he's equated that chain to every little leash or anything tethered. So we've been keeping the harness on him, like Jacob said, kind of as step one, getting him comfortable with that, handling him in it, because sometimes just handling him at the beginning was very scary for him.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how he does with cats, but I think we just saw that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's one good looking boy now. He sports that harness well too, doesn't he?
He does.
Boy, he's just stunning. Wow. But so I guess what kind of home do you think he would need? Are we going to require children in the home? He does that good?
Yeah, 100%. I think that we wouldn't be doing him a favor without kids.
What about fencing?
To be honest, he is so scared. I could never see him leaving my side. He is a very much of a follower. He follows the other dogs. He follows us. He's starting to get a little bit more comfortable walking around the fence on his own. We've been doing more trips outside with just him, so he's kind of forced to learn it a bit. But overall, I mean, go ahead.
It was about a week ago. I had someone coming over, and I absentmindedly, I was moving something outside, and I left the gate open as I walked out to greet them, and he just our full-blooded Great Pyrenees, he came right out and just visited, but Tucker just stayed inside the fence, and he stepped back up on the porch, and he was just acting a little timid. He didn't even go out the gate. So yeah, he's pretty timid for sure.
So you have a peer there? I thought he had Molly. Oh my. There's a blanket on your couch. It's white.
Yeah. Hey Walter.
Walter.
Hey Walter. You want to say hi?
Wow. Hi, big guy. Just so everybody's aware, I don't think Walter or Molly there is up for adoption. Am I correct?
Neither of them are up for adoption. No, not at all.
So they go to findadifferentdog.com if they want those, right? Now, something I can't help but to notice is you've got, toys or something laying on the floor and nobody's fighting over them.
We are very blessed to be in a home where there's no aggression in this house at all. we do feed them all separately because everyone, unfortunately, is on different foods. Molly eats senior, Walter eats a different flavor than Tucker. So feeding is a little bit interesting, but we keep them separate, and we're working to hopefully get them to where they want to finish their bowl, so we're not constantly offering them to him. So
Okay. Now, Peer Rescue and Sanctuary in Colorado, they have a question here. They'd like to know how old he is and any idea what breed he is in there.
For this part.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, his age is a little bit up. The veterinarian assumed that he's anywhere between 8 months and a year. I've got a little bit of knowledge coming from veterinary care, and based on the growth I've seen in him in the 2 months we've had him, I'm pegging him about 9 months.
Okay. So
legs
he's a baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got some long legs on him.
As far as breed goes, his tail screams Pyrenees. It rolls completely around, and he has some Pyrenees traits no matter what, regardless of his shepherdy looking coat. But I don't know. He could have a little lab, a little Anatolian, maybe.
Could have a little Akbach in there even.
Yeah.
But Anatolian does sound right. Same country as the Akbach. Could be German Shepherd or some sort of Shepherd in there. But bottom line is, who cares? That's a good dog you got there.
He is.
Nancy wants to know if his mama got adopted. I think I can cover that. He's in a home that the intent is he never leaves, Nancy. So, okay, it looks like he's a shepherd mix. That's what we just found out. So, and Lori's absolutely right. He's gorgeous. All of them are gorgeous pups there. So, yeah, GPRescue.com. That's where you go to apply for that good looking boy right there. All right. And that's where it's all happening right now, GPRescue.com. But boy, is he good looking. Holy cow. Wow. Hi, Tucker. So,
Hey, Tuck, can you wake up for a minute? We spent a lot of time outside today. He's pretty much over it, but
yeah. And well, and also too, you've got some activity going on in your home here, and it's making him sleepy, huh? Well, we got a new star.
Stretch right in front of the camera, of course.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to ask him how he is with cats, but I think we got that one. Wow, guys. Then I just got one last question. Now, he's your first foster with us. Is that correct?
yes.
All right. And how's your experience been with Great Pyrenees Rescue of Missouri as fostering so far?
So far, it's been pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. Cool.
We got out of Pyrenees, but we're thrilled to have him.
Yeah. But he really, really, really needed you. Okay. Because if I remember right, his mama actually got a foster and he didn't, or the other way around. I don't remember which, but we had to have fosters for him. It took us a while to get him in because, well, you had to go through the approval process. So, but, and how was that? Was that like pulling teeth, getting approved to foster one of Linda's dogs?
She had a lot of questions, but that's just fine. Overall, I mean, she was pretty accepting. I feel like once we got to talk and she understood how much we love dogs and what we wanted to do, I mean, she welcomed us in with pretty open arms.
Well, good. I like that. And Jill thinks looks like a sweetheart. Boy, look at him.
He really is. He's nothing but a lover.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a mean bone in his body. I mean, truly why he would do so well around, I think, the age of child. He's just so gentle for his size and his age, and
he's
just makes you wonder. Snuggly. It makes you wonder about the family that left him.
Yeah.
You know, it looks to me like this is pretty much their loss.
100%.
And the mama dog, same way. They're calling her Gracie now, Gracie May now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, he is such a love, and he's available for adoption at GPRescue.com. That's Tucker. So Wow. Well, thank you guys for stepping up and fostering him. He really, really, really needed to get into a home like yours. And I hope you continue to do that. Boy, what's your peer's name? Walter? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, he's Walter White.
Walter Way?
Walter White is the joke.
Yeah.
Walter White. Okay. That's a good looking boy now. Well, you do have it going on now. Not many people can leave toys laying around like that with multiple dogs. So Nancy said he looks like a perfect boy. He's dog and cat tested. And now, what about kids?
Yep, he's great with kids. Like every kid who's come around, he just immediately is interested in them and wants to check them out and snuggle and play. And yeah, he's done great. He met a few kids just today, first time he ever met them, just multiple times. He went right in and he was fine.
I would say
So he wasn't afraid of them.
not at all.
No. New adults, he will be, especially men.
New adults, new men. He's very timid. It'll take a while for him to come around to you and greet you. But children, right off the bat, they're friends. He doesn't question their trust and loyalty.
Okay. And we can expect that because, well, he was left behind by his family that he trusted, and in his little video, we asked people that if you're going to move, please take your dogs, because it really traumatizes them when you don't. So, and he's been a little bit of a slow go, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But he's really, boy, I'll tell you, he's really coming around. You guys are we're the perfect home for him. So, wow. So GPRescue.com. Let's get our apps in for Tucker and get him moved into a new home forever and ever and ever. And that way, Taylor and Jacob, maybe they can get a peer next time.
We make jokes about him, but we're really grateful to have him. He's been a lovely boy.
Well, we got to start you off with, I guess, we start you off with, see how you do with the non-peers first, right? Either that or sometimes it can be challenging to get a Great Pyrenees from a Great Pyrenees rescue, because we do take in mixes, as you can see, because when I first came on board a little over a year ago, she had some mixes in, and I says, well, wow, that one doesn't even look like a peer. The dogs were black. They were parvo puppies too. And she just basically said, don't they deserve to live too? And, she shut me up and never questioned it again, because she's absolutely right. I would have never not taken Tucker in, and his mama. His mama's a good girl too. So, righty, guys. I know you guys got stuff going on there, and I really, really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you fostering that boy, and hopefully we can get you another one pretty soon, because hopefully we can get him an application coming and get him moved along. So, all right. So, thanks for coming on. I'm going to send you back down to the bottom, if the green room, and enjoy your children's slumber party tonight, and you guys have a good night. Bye now.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. Wow, wasn't Tucker a handsome boy? Holy cow. That was one. It doesn't matter what he is. That's a good looking boy now. So, all right. Now we got Roman just came in, so we're going to also bring him up, but we also have two more dogs to bring up, and we're just going to get right on that, and we're going to bring Roman up. Hi, Roman. And we are bringing up, now which one is this, you guys?
Matcha.
That's Masha.
Masha. Now, I told everybody that they have an interesting story on how they came into rescue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, somebody just came to my kennel at 10:30 at night and dumped two dogs.
Because they thought they were yours.
They thought, well, yeah.
We
Where I
own
live,
all
yeah.
white dogs in this county.
In Northwest Iowa, I own every white dog that's available, apparently. So yeah, every white dog that comes within 20 miles of my property is mine, apparently. So
Yeah, apparently.
It just was what it was. I told my wife, I said, if you tell people you rescue dogs, this is going to happen. So,
this is what you're going to get. And if you have 15 peers running around the property at any given time, they're going to assume it too. So
yeah, so it didn't bother us at all. It was like, at least they're safe now, and at least all their we know they're vaccinated now and everything. So yeah. It is what it is. So we just we take them.
The boy's name is Max and the girl is Masha?
Yeah. Yep. Max and Masha.
All right. What can you tell us about them? Are they available for adoption?
Yeah, they're available. Apparently somebody put in some apps today or something already. So
awesome.
They're both available, yeah. So she's 76 pounds. 78. And he's actually heavier. He's actually 81 pounds. So he's a little thicker. She's really super athletic.
Wow.
Really fast. She's a fast dog. And
we've decided we think he's probably around 6-7 months old, and she's probably 11 months.
That's what we think.
Okay. So you don't think they're siblings then?
No. We don't. I don't think they are. We have a couple theories we've been kicking around how they ended up together, but this one, I mean, Masha she definitely likes to just be outside.
Mm-hmm.
But Max, he'll come in the house, but he came to me with a collar and he was neutered already, so I don't know how they ended up together. Nobody knows. They were on the run, so.
And they've been posted on Facebook for at least a couple months.
Running around.
Right.
So
were they pretty skinny when they dropped them off?
They weren't bad. I was really surprised.
I really like this comment. Shauna got she got a cute Pyrenees from GPRescue and Sanctuary in Colorado, and absolutely best dog she's ever owned. She says, if I can only get rid of the husband and get more Pyrenees. She put that in writing.
Keep the husband, get more Pyrenees. It's okay.
By the way, Sarah says your shirt says it all. Miracle worker. So
these guys are just awesome. So Masha is an escape artist. So she we put her in we have 6 acres kenneled for him. We put her in. And she's in there for like a couple minutes, and all of a sudden she's standing right next to you. She is a professional hole digger, and she can get out within minutes, and she just wants to be with you. She literally comes and finds us right away, and she just stays right next to you. She does chores with us. She does everything. I honestly think she's not going anywhere because of Max. I don't think they're a bonded pair. They just play well together. And if she's in the kennel with the dogs and we're in there with them, she doesn't leave us.
She doesn't leave.
So she just wants to be with the people, and she wants the attention.
But she's been around. I mean, and she's been around the livestock. She's been around the goats and the horses and the cattle and the calves.
She's good with everybody.
We haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
So.
Doesn't chase the chickens or anything. She's a very good girl. So.
Max.
And what about Max? So what kind of home would he need?
Max is all puppy. He loves everybody and anything, is not fazed by anything. We are in the garage tonight because Masha's still not quite sure about the house. Okay. So I've drug her in there several times, but she's still happier in the garage or outside than she is in the house. So
it's amazing nobody's looking for them.
I agree. It's like they're awesome. They're the best dogs. It's like,
I mean, Max is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, super smart.
He's got really big feet. He's going to be a really big dog, and he is literally loves all our dogs.
He loves
everybody. So doesn't matter what it is. He's just happy to.
We didn't have any. We introduced him the next morning. we kept them out in the kennel that night, and then we brought all the dogs in, and we didn't have any problems. They were eating together by the end of the day. We fed them all at the same time at the end of the day, and didn't have any food aggression. And
Masha was a little growly to begin with, but she got over it real quick. And
yeah, that's pretty clear. There's toys or shoes or something there, and they don't care. So
nope. They're very compliant with everybody. So
wow. So that's 3 dogs we've had on tonight. That is just dumbfounding why the owners don't have them anymore.
I don't get it.
Yeah, maybe with Masha, maybe she escaped because she didn't want to be there, because apparently she's escaping in order to be with you. Okay, so that's usually a plus. That's that. And how long have you had them?
A couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe a month.
All right.
Yeah, been a few weeks.
Okay, I believe this comment that Judy's got up there is for Shauna, letting her know that she can take trade-ins, meaning getting rid of her husband, I think. So, so wow. So man, oh man. And they're spayed and neutered. They're good with cats and your kids and grandkids and neighbors and chickens even. Wow. Yep. They're good with the predatory species too. Ain't that something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Masha, so we have 2 guardian dogs that run the whole acreage. They're outside the kennel. And Masha loves our female. She just literally
loves Sky.
If Sky's outside, she's got to get outside the Sky too.
Yep.
So and those are our 2. Basically, it's like they're watching any cars coming in, anything. Masha's on it, right with
They're
Sky.
both playing like puppies.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
Max loves to play with her.
All right. GPRescue.com. That's where you go to apply for Masha and Max. Now, so they don't have to go together as a bonded pair, right?
Nope.
Okay. There you have it. But both of them probably should have playmates in their new home.
I would, I don't know if Max would have to, but I would say that they do well.
They both like other. I mean,
they both like to be with
Max
dogs.
loves. So we have 2 pure mixes, and they're smaller and they're very athletic. And Max, those 2 just beat each other up all day long. They absolutely love playing.
Okay.
Masha loves Sky, so yes, I would imagine they probably would appreciate a playmate.
So Masha is going to need a fence that's 10 feet, 5 feet above ground, 5 feet below ground.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, when I say she is out in a flash, she is out. I mean, Lance fills holes all weekend long, and it's just like, she's out. If we're in the kennel, though, she doesn't leave. So it's like, it's just a matter of like, you're going to let her out in the backyard. You got to be out there with her, and she's happy.
But when she gets out on you, she hasn't left the property, though. She comes to you.
She has never left our ranch.
Never left.
Never.
Wow.
So she's like, she likes it here. We went to the vet today. We took a car ride. That was stressful.
Fine. Max was fine in the car.
Max didn't care about anything. Masha was a little stressed, and then she figured out, we're just going home. Okay, it's okay. So she did good on the way home.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they're just 2 of how many dogs are right now? 10?
10.
10.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And in case you folks don't remember or didn't or hadn't seen with Stacy and Lance on in the past, do you still feed them in a circle, certain dogs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We still feed together, all of them together.
Okay.
All 10 of them eat together. We have no food aggressions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but you've worked through it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We've had food aggression dogs before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, man, I thought you guys had peers.
Well, and Masha, when she got here, she was trying to be aggressive, showing everybody she was the boss. And it took a week, but she got over it real quick, and she eats with everybody just fine.
She got guardianship on her food. You know, she took guardianship of that. They can guardianship anything, you know, in their DNA, but hers was food.
Okay.
And but we just broke her that real quick. It wasn't a problem. So
and we have bully sticks, and I gave Masha a bully stick tonight. And it's just one of those things. You got to be smart about what you do. She had one and nobody else had one, and she was outside. So we just let her finish her bully stick before she came inside, because it was like, oh yeah, this isn't gonna be pretty. She really likes this thing. So I just took her outside, and she was really happy. She got a treat and came inside and ate, and she was just a happy little girl.
I just watched, was that Max that just swiped her chew?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And she didn't react.
No, not at all. And she's not reacting to anybody. She's
Although we have Roman there watching body language, and I just saw her get up. She might have reacted, but it's just, it's not worth it. There's two of them over there.
Yep.
Beautiful, two beautiful dogs.
Yeah, they are. She is so athletic. She's as fast as my Akbash. She is fast. I mean, she can keep up with my Akbash, and nobody else. I haven't had somebody that can keep up with an Akbash.
And it was raining here today, so we're a little dirty, but that's okay. They'll be white.
Yeah. Well, those Akbash, with those legs they have, they're very agile, and they can. 4-foot fence is just a joke to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they can clear that and without any problems.
Yeah,
wow, that man, I just can't believe, first Tucker and now these two, they're just gorgeous. How old is that picture?
A couple days ago.
Oh, okay. And look at Max. He's adorable.
Last Saturday.
Oh, Max is just, they're both. She is a beautiful dog.
She is beautiful.
But Max is just, he is so puppy, and he's just the sweetest guy in the whole world. It's just, his temperament is awesome.
Wow.
Just a gorgeous dog.
I wonder with Masha, I wonder if somebody got her and threw her out in the field with the sheep, and it just wasn't her cup of tea, and she left.
Well, and she didn't have a collar, but Max did. And Max's collar was way too tight, so I think he broke since he got his collar put on him.
And probably neither one of them were chipped, huh?
Nope.
All right, guys. What's your schedule look like? You want to come off to the side and watch the rest of the show? Because Roman's getting ready to take over after I just briefly bring something up about rescues. Or do you guys kind of busy with 10 dogs?
We're always busy.
Because one time you stayed up, the other time you had to go down, and you just say the word, and I can take you down in the green room, and then you can gracefully exit, or you can stay up and listen to Roman, watch the show, and it's up to you.
You can post in the green room. We're going to watch the show for a while, though. We want to see what Roman
has to say. All right.
I want to see what the experts got to say.
Okay. I'll tell you what I said about the instruction manual, you'll see what I'm talking about. That would probably be our closest thing to an instruction manual, is the hierarchy of the dog's needs. Okay.
Awesome.
So, all right, guys, GPRescue.com. That's Max and Masha. And that's where you apply for them. And they're ready to go now, right?
Oh, yeah. They're ready.
And now, if somebody wanted both of them, would that be a possibility?
They have a peer already. They wanted.
But yeah.
One of them could be spoken for.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They could go together. Yes.
Okay. And which one is spoken for, Masha?
They applied for either one of them.
Either or. It's open right now. So Stacy and I we got to pencil that out on what the best fit is.
Okay.
Probably Masha is the best fit because they have a male peer.
Okay. All right. So. Yeah. All right. So, guys, thanks a lot, and thank you for fostering these two, because I mean, you didn't have any choice, did you?
And it didn't matter. We would have done it anyway.
We would have done it anyway. So,
yeah.
If they drop off 2 more tonight, we'll take 2 more tonight. Exactly. So that's what it is.
Yeah. When they said they had 10 peers, I said, "Oh, you're down a few. You need some, huh?" So. Lance and Stacy, they do a good job up there. Their location isn't ideal, but because they live way up there in no man's land, but that's where they like it. I'm out in cornfields, that's where I like it. Roman, he's out in the forest where he likes it, so that's what we do. All right, guys.
We have cornfields in for us. We're good.
Yeah. We have ideal locations for dogs. That's all we care about.
Yeah, and yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. And obviously, because you just picked up 2 more. So, all right, guys. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Bye now. Wow. Wasn't that something, Roman? Let me get us the same size here. Oops, that didn't work. Oh, I'm down here. Ta-da! I got confused. The only thing I wanted to bring up is once again, everybody is hurting for fosters, okay? And this just isn't in Missouri, okay? This is countrywide. The shelters, and there's help out there. You don't have to give up your animals, especially over behavior. And if the animal's sick, there's grants out there. There's public grants for personal people that are available. There's other ways, because what happens when you surrender a dog that you're capable of keeping, and then we get somebody that is sick and they're going into hospice or something, and we can't take their dog because, well, we took the other dog that really didn't have to come in. And please stop telling us that if we don't take the dog, you're going to shoot him. All right. That's never a good thing to say to us. All right. Because what you're doing is, like you talking to Linda or Reagan or something, they're human. Okay. What is it you're trying to prove here? We're here to help. Okay. You don't have to get it all dramatic. Now, some of the people were ready to shoot them. Okay. And, but you don't have to. There's help out there. So we got to, somewhere along the line, we've got to stop this trend of giving the dogs up. It's just, we're in strange times right now. Let's see if we can change that around. And I don't know the answer. I don't think anybody knows the answer. Maybe we'll stumble up on it. Maybe it's going to be a few answers combined, but you're going to be up right now, Roman. I think Roman may have an answer or a suggestion at least.
Well, I'm looking, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this upcoming disaster since all the shelters open the doors. Take the dogs, bring them home, save the
clear
dogs.
The shelters, the clear right? The shelters. Yep.
In the meantime, while we got all these dogs out, there were people thinking like, oh, we are over the problem. Let's get more dogs. And all these people wanted to save dogs. There was a market. And because there's a market, there's an opportunity. And then all these opportunities start giving dogs out. Less expensive. Everybody wants to stay home alone. What do you do without a dog? Now the shelters are giving up. There are no dogs available. The rescues kind of like, I've hard time transporting dogs because of COVID. Well, yes, the online guys are still on market, and then up you go. You get a dog delivered in the mail. And then you don't have training. You cannot socialize your dog. You have no educational background on the dogs. And all of a sudden, the poop hits the fan after a couple of months, 6, 7, 8 months. And then all of a sudden, the behavior issues coming up. Of course, you're going to want to reach out to a professional, which is booked out for a year. Right? And then here you go, and you tried everything, called everyone, watched all the videos that you could watch, and then do all the things you can do wrong. And then all of a sudden he says, I'm end of the rope. Let somebody else deal with it. And here we go. Rescue's full, shelter's full, market is full. Nobody wants a dog. Everybody has a dog. It's unfortunately, it was predictable.
Yeah. You and I talked about this early on, the first year of COVID.
Yeah.
You and I talked about that. Wow. Ain't that something?
And these problems are easily to be solved. You don't have to, as you said before, there are basic things that can happen here. Not all the dogs have to be socialized the way we think have to be socialized. Just because the dog didn't have a proper socialization, it's not the end of life.
No.
Right? We can still change it a little bit slower. The dog would not be a social butterfly. She would not be a party animal. But slowly, we have the proper tools and get the proper resources. We can work things out.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And one thing that's very important for us to recognize, and I think you have already set up the whole thing, is understanding the dog's needs at the very beginning.
Yes.
Because we have our needs. And we didn't think about the dogs having needs during COVID because it was all convenient. And all of a sudden now the dog's needs that hasn't been compliant before come to surface as behavior issues.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, what we're seeing is some of these dogs that these folks are feel that there's nothing else they can do. Well, I'll tell you, when we get them, they've really been let down because you're at the end of your rope, but the dog doesn't know that. All right, and if you Google dog training, well, there's a good possibility that there's a high probability that, well, that's not going to be what's going to meet your dog's needs because Google has never met your dog. Okay. And so it's not on the dog, but yet the dog is getting blamed and then ultimately loses his home. And that's hard on him. That's very hard on the dogs.
One thing that I notice is that people have a certain concept, what the dog does, have a certain mindset. Oh, my dog is aggressive. How to address aggression? So they Google how to address aggression, not really knowing what exactly is going on with the dog. And they're trying to fix something wrong that isn't actually wrong. Right. And then they call the vet and they tell them, oh, my dog is destructive. And the vet has to go with it and then prescribe medication. And the dog is actually a completely different problem. Sometimes they actually have a problem with the wrong dog. The dog is not the problem. It's the other dog who has the problem.
Absolutely.
I've seen people want to surrender the wrong dog.
And that's the first thing that we do. And when we get a call, when we assess the situation, the big picture, for one of the first things we have to do is figure out which dog we're working with. Okay. Because a lot of times the dog they're calling about, well, isn't the one that was causing the problem. And then sometimes it is. So anyway, before we get going with the instruction manual, I want to bring it up one more time because I don't think we have any entrants yet. At least there's nobody that I've seen. Hashtag GPRM, type it into your comments, and that enters you into the drawing at the end of the show for the leash. All right. And we do a giveaway, try to every week anyway, and go from there. Now, I saw on Facebook a while back, it said the Great Pyrenees instruction book, and somebody had photoshopped a book that was like 4 foot tall and the top pages were open. That's the instruction manual for Great Pyrenees. And it's a chuckle and everything, but it doesn't have to be that drastic, does it, Roman?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
The instruction book, owner's manual for the dogs. All right.
Oh, yeah.
We have something here. I'm going to bring the graphic up. All right. Okay. Has anybody ever seen that? The hierarchy of the dog's needs. And Linda Michaels put this together originally and did a mighty fine job. I think you had input too, didn't you, Roman?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
But look at it.
Even though she has translated in several languages, including Greek, I was just happy about it.
Oh, yeah. Now, one of the things I hear that people tell people to do with the Great Pyrenees is you got to be the pack leader. You got to be a strong leader. You got to be the alpha, blah, blah, blah. Well, the hierarchy, and then I'll shut up and let you go, Roman. The hierarchy chart here tells you something different. It tells you to have benevolent leadership. That's a little bit different now, isn't it? So,
well, there's a whole misconception about the alpha theory, about the pack leadership. It's so old, right? My grandfather smoked it on his pipe when we say that. Even the inventor of the dominance hierarchy, Dr. Mech, who was hired by the Department of Agriculture to study wolves in captivity, after he studies wolves in real life, said, man, I was wrong. I'm sorry. We had this wrong idea.
It. Well, they did a 180 on the pack theory.
Yeah, well, the problem is that we took the linear hierarchy, the linear dominance hierarchy from the ants, projected onto the dogs, and then thought it's going to work out. It doesn't. Anyway, long story short, Linda Michaels had this fine work to do to translate hierarchy of dogs, the hierarchy of needs into the dog concept. So we better understand, because dogs are mammals just like we are. They have emotions like we do. They have needs just like we have. And we have kind of a disconnect about dogs are just animals and we are different. We're not. And in fact, working for so long with animals and with people, I see how many common things we have. So my first thing that I do when I work with people, the first thing is you need to understand your dog's hierarchy of needs. Okay, some people don't even know their own needs. They just go with the flow. But once you see that chart, maybe you want to pull it up a little bit.
I'm going to actually do a screen share on it, Roman.
Yeah. Maybe we can put it up as a website. That may be easier, so we not.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to do.
And what we look for here is understand the solid foundation of that pyramid. So that pyramid is so important that it is the base of your relationship with your dog, which is including the very bottom of it is the physical needs that the dog needs, which includes food, water, air, sleep, steady home life, access to potty areas, gentle grooming, and fear-free grooming, and do not harm veterinary care. And why is it so important? We heard before, oh, my dog showed resource guarding. Why do we think is that? If all the physical needs are not met, the dog's natural response is to guard whatever he has because he's in survival mode.
Now, the hierarchy chart also, are you saying something, Roman? Because I just lost you.
No, I wasn't saying. Okay. I was hearing shooting in the background. I was like, what happened?
Oh, at your place?
No. On an audio feedback. Okay. I don't know what it was.
I had my mic muted. I saw it flashing and I was unmuting it. Sorry.
Gotcha. And so we see if the basic biological needs are not met, the dog will go in survival mode. Now, what do we do when we get a dog? Right? We are all over his face. We're all over his personal space. We bring the dog to the vet. The vet should deal with it. Right? We don't know how the vet will handle the dog. The dog hasn't established any secure attachment with anyone in that house. So the dog basically is alien in an alien environment. And that will trigger a whole sequence of events. So if we're not fully understand the dog's biological needs, we'll not be able to help the dog. We would not be able to help the dog being adopted. We would not be able to help the dog being trained, behaviors changing, or even adopting the dog because we're gonna fail. So all these dogs that you see being in the market for adoption or a homing, most of them have not met his biological needs. And that's why I so appreciate Lila Michaels for pointing that out and make it visual so we can actually think about it. So the first part again is I need to have my dog's food. And food is not food, right? Feed, what we usually say to dogs. If that food is not healthy for the dogs and the dog doesn't feel good with it, he's going to resource guard because he's hungry, but he cannot eat the food because he doesn't feel well. It makes him hangry. And if he gets hangry, then we have resource guarding and aggression. You see these little things. Then we put the dog in a crate. We don't put water in there. All of a sudden, the dog's physical needs are not met. He's going to have separation anxiety because he feels he's being neglected in his kennel without the water. We know from other sites, in some rescues, we don't say any names, or some boarding facilities, the air quality is so bad, the dogs get sick. So not even air is there clean. The dogs cannot even sleep with lights on and barking all day long in that stress environment. At the same time, if the dog comes into our home, and we have the kids playing with the dog, and everybody comes in for a party, the dog's sleep deprivation. The dog doesn't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
And then he gets stressed. And he gets stressed, he gets upset. He gets upset, he gets, reactive. And then we have this steady home life. So if a dog doesn't have a stable environment, being moved from one home to another, from one foster to another, that creates insecurity and insecure attachment. And that causes other problems.
Yes.
And what if the dog doesn't have even access to potty areas? And we want to potty train the dog by putting him in the crate and close the crate up for a couple of hours because the dog should train how to not pee in the house. Have you tried that with your kid? Put your kid, close him up in the bedroom and don't let him out for a couple of hours. I remember when I was a baby, 3 years old, I wasn't 100% potty trained. So we have expectations from dogs that don't even fit the dog's needs. And grooming, especially around Pyrenees, the first important part is to make the dog feel comfortable being groomed by you, right? And not hurting him and not going him, trim him down to an inch and then expect the dog to feel comfortable about it. Or we're going to a vet and there are 5 people sitting on the dog to get him a needle in. So all these things are basically guarantee for disaster, and we don't see it coming because we don't pay attention to it. So that hierarchy of needs, and you can guys get it online. You can print it out for yourself. Okay, it doesn't cost you a dime. You have to print it out, read through it, and learn it so you're not getting any surprises. Because after physical needs, we have emotional needs. Simple things like the dog feeling secure in his home, like the dog is barking at the window, telling you there is a threat out there, and all you have to do on your mindset is to use a spray bottle or a shaker can to shut him up. And the reality is, all the dog wants is acknowledgement that he's not alone fighting with the devil. And sometimes just acknowledgement and says, hey, Gary, I got you. Don't worry about it. How about come here? Thank you so much for telling me that something is going on. How about you lay down and I give you something to chew on? I appreciate you for letting me know for what you were bred to do. As simple as that. So emotional needs come also together with the breed traits. So if we don't know our dog's breed traits, we'll not be able to comply to the emotional needs of the dog. So if we don't have a structure in the house and we don't give the dog the environment that he needs, that is free of punishment and free of fear and dominance that we have, the dog will not feel safe in the house. And he becomes emotionally disabled. We have an obedient dog who is emotionally disabled, unable to have a concrete thought, not knowing what to do, because we focus so much on obedience that a dog doesn't have troubleshooting skills. We call it, socialization, but we don't even know that term. We generalize. We think socialization means meeting people, as many as possible. No, socialization means meet the garbage bin. Socialization means tell me what to do when a stranger comes into the house. What is the difference between that person and that person? The dog doesn't have that logic. I mean, he has one of a 5-year-old.
If that.
Right?
If that. So that means they don't know right from wrong then, do they, if they don't know the logic?
Well, if we don't have certain rules in place and we don't have morals and ethics in place and we don't have a family code of conduct in place and we don't have rules in place and we don't have rituals in place, how would the dog know what's right or wrong? Come to my house and ask you to make a coffee. You don't know how to make the coffee because you don't know how I like my coffee. We don't communicate with each other. We don't have a family code of conduct. But we talk a lot. We expect the dog to know a lot. But we don't try to listen to the dog, so we establish a relationship. And we're not being able to actually have a conversation. Dogs have a conversation. If a dog comes to you and lets you know there's a threat out there, this is a conversation. It's not just barking. So we think dogs are stupid, but they're not.
And no, they're not. It's amazing. They're good communicators. All you have to do is listen. Just listen.
Yeah. But you know what? Having this idea of being the pack leader and everybody has to listen to you, it sounds more like a narcissist to me. Oops. Sorry. I said it.
Narcissist.
I'm not taking it back. Many people, and I was part of it, I was a narcissistic dog owner. I had certain expectations of the dog. The dog had to fulfill them. And if he didn't, then I was upset and the dog was a bad dog. Yeah. But thank God that's a long time ago. But, I understand what people are going through because we are brainwashed in that concept. We think a Pyrenees is a guarding dog that has to guard sheep. We got it all wrong.
Yeah.
having breed traits of a guardian breed doesn't make you a guardian dog. Guardian dog is an evolution of knowledge and experience in your environment, understanding what the job is, then you can become a guardian. But it doesn't come automatically. Just because you're born with families that everybody's a police, in the police force, doesn't make you a police officer.
Right.
Make sense?
You got to learn the job at hand.
Right. So all the breed traits are there, but they can go in a range of right or left, up or down. So it's a sliding scale. So a dog who's persistent, well, if he doesn't know what to do with it, we call it stubborn. But persistence is a job description, like a breed trait. If the dog is persistent, protecting his property, and he doesn't let go just because somebody told him to do something else. But at the same time, we want him to stop what he's doing, come back to us because we said so. There's a conflict, and then we get frustrated.
Yep.
And then number 3, for example, when it says in the hierarchy of needs, says love and belonging. So we call dogs our friends and family, right? And just because dogs are Pyrenees, are guardian breeds, livestock guardian breeds, they're not part of the family. But the specialty of those dogs is to have a specific concept of family. A good guardian dog guards his family. Well, we have to educate him what the family means. It's not just the goats. It's just me and the farm and the car and everything included, that we all are family. Of course, he doesn't have a relationship with the car. But if somebody comes to take the car, he knows this is not part of the family system. So that shouldn't happen. So dogs have also justice. He sees that if 2 family members interact with each other in a non-proper way, so there is aggression involved, like there is a victim and somebody who kind of victimized the other person, the dog will see that as injustice and will intervene. So we have friends coming over, playing rough with our child, that dog will go after that rough child. And we don't see it coming because we don't understand the breed traits. We blame the dog for bad behavior, yet it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately,
Right.
he wasn't socialized. He didn't know what to do in that situation. We just let it happen until something wrong happened.
Right. Because the parent didn't teach. So he went back to the breed traits to solve the problem.
Right. Because when I work with people, I want the dog to know what to do in crisis. Crisis means I don't know what to do. So I'm referring to one I'm securely attached. And I'm giving that message. Hey, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? But there's a communication established. So taking a dog in, be kind to the dog and love the dog only is not teaching the dog anything. You have this obligation of educating your dog. And we reach up to the higher levels of this pyramid where we say force-free training. Why force-free training? Because with force, only a predator functions. A predator who kills his prey uses force. Are you the prey, the predator, and your dog is the prey? This is the relationship is going to go? I don't think so. So people think because Pyrenees are big dogs and strong dogs, you have to have heavy hands. Wrong. Or you want to be the alpha. You don't even understand the concept of alpha. So let's put that aside and let's clear these things out. You don't need force to train a Pyrenees, and you don't need force to train any dog, especially Pyrenees. He wants to have you as an example. He wants to do what you do. You dig holes in your garden, you call it planting. He's going to dig holes in the garden because he does what you do. You yell at the kids, he will bark at the kids.
Yep.
The dog will recognize that you are paying attention, especially to that child, and is misbehaving. And they go up to your room and do your homework now. And the kid is like, no, I'm not doing anything. And he sees that happening. He's going to try to imitate you addressing that problem. Because dogs are not stupid. They're smart. Just like a 5-year-old. They see you shaving, he wants to shave himself too. You see painting your nails, he wants to do that too. Not the dog, of course, but your kids, right? So we have to see that happening, and we have to see that being a possibility, and now we can act upon it. So force-free training meaning is we continuously educate the puppy without force, in form of games, in form of fun, learning. You see these dogs before, they were playing with each other. They were so playful and nice. Some people will say, well, they're mouthing each other. Well, this is how they learn to survive. This is how they learn air fighting with each other. in a very organized way. Tomorrow, exactly the same gestures, the same movements, they will do it to kill a wolf or a coyote because they learned it. So if you want to roughhouse with your dog, what exactly are you teaching your dog? You're teaching how to roughhouse in reality. He knows how to grab your hand and your elbow and bite your face. So keep playing roughhousing with your dog. Show him exactly what to do if he's in problem with a stranger person. And then you wonder why your dog bit someone. But
because you taught him.
Exactly. Without knowing it, because you think roughhousing is a cool thing to do because it's a big dog and it's a big person to play with him. No, you need to teach your dog that touching your teeth with your hands, it hurts. You don't want to do that. It stops the game. So the dog, in worst case scenario, he will slightly touch your teeth so you feel the pain, but you're not getting hurt. So we teach the dog this escalation. What do you do if you play? What do you do if you're angry? What do you do if you want to kill? You don't want to play a kill game with your dog, with your kids in the house or neighbors coming over. You're not having a killer dog in downtown New York. No, you have just a dog who needs to know his job, and it doesn't have to be goats and sheep. It could be just your family. So for those people who says guardian breeds have to have a job in the farm, it's ridiculous.
It is.
Right? You can give the dog a proper job in your home that is matching to the dog's needs. But do you know the needs? We don't, because we make this assumption. White, cute, fluffy dog, he just behaves like every other pet. No, pet is not a breed trait. And then we have to see also the cognitive needs, because especially Pyrenees, they want to be perfect on their job. Like no other breed that I know, and I work with a lot of breeds. I work with Mastiffs, Bull Mastiff, Cane Corso, Presa Canarios, all these guardian breeds that we know of. Most of them are herding breeds in the prehistory. We see that these dogs are so smart. They want troubleshooting skills. They want to learn. They want to be better. They want to be part of the family. The reason they're in the family is because they want to have a function in the family. So if you don't teach them the function of your family, they will not be happy. So Maslow, who is the inventor of that pyramid, called it self-actualization. But what does it mean to a dog? It means the dog should have morals and ethic and problem-solving skills and creativity. How would I hold my bone? Do I hold my bone just with my teeth? Oh, my friend can hold the bone. I teach my dog creativity. I teach my dog that I can hold the bone and he can chew on it in different directions, and I can switch hands. I'm like, oh, cool, we have a nice game playing. And all of a sudden, we teach the dog that if you need my help, I'm here. I can hold the bone for you. No problem. I can hold space for you. I can hold territory for you. I can protect the house for you so you don't have to do it. Don't worry about it. Go lay down. So if you don't establish that pyramid, you cannot expect the dog to let go of something he's on the job to, because you don't have established that relationship yet. Who are you to tell your dog what to do? You're just a placeholder. You're not supporting your dog in any means. He has to deal with his own. All you do is putting food on the bowl. That's it. Otherwise, you're not really helpful until you recognize that pyramid and you act upon it. And then you recognize that all these things that have to happen, and the dog is like, wow, I like him. He knows exactly what I need. I don't need to worry about things. He's my best person ever.
And there's your instruction book right there on the screen.
And I don't know if you have the link, but I would highly recommend you guys get Linda's training manual, which I recommend that you guys, even if you're trainers, use that link, get that manual, and start from page 1, go through it. I mean, I have a training manual for kids, like kids language, because sometimes, the regular training books are too complex for kids. If you guys are interested, let me know.
Sometimes regular training manuals are too complex for adults too.
Yeah, right. It's kind of too complex, but Linda's manual is really simple.
I read a preview. I read some of the previews, and she puts it in terms that, well, we can understand. Okay.
Right.
And the hierarchy right there. There's an example right there. And I tell you what, that thing is just so awesome. Some of this stuff I've been doing all these years, but I didn't know. I didn't realize the hierarchy of it, the importance of it. Okay.
Right.
But the very important part is the force free, especially with your Great Pyrenees. Give them the ability to make choices while you're teaching them to make good choices, new problem solving skills. All right.
I was lucky to work with the department, the Texas
Yes.
Department of Juvenile Detention. I'm totally confused now. Texas Juvenile Justice Department. Now I got it right. And these kids there are young kids. Like the oldest one is like 16. We see these children have the same history of these dogs we have in the shelter.
These children are in prison.
Right. They end up because the system failed, because the family failed, because they were abandoned, because they were abused, they were this and that. And they made one mistake and they ended up in there. We call it like bad mistakes. Bad dog, right? It's a child that makes a decision because of the environmental factors and he ends up there, has no way to get out. But what I learned was if you practice this first base, like giving that child these options, that child starts feeling safe in this unsafe environment. These children don't have a home to return, because if they return home, the whole thing will start all over again. They are not safe at home. So they only are safe if they learn how to survive themselves without hurting anyone, without, being a problem in the society that we kind of created like a mess. With dogs, the same thing. So if you don't help the dogs understand their environment they're living in, and they don't understand what we're here for to do, they will see us as enemies. And if we ask him to get off the couch, he's going to growl at us. Why? Because he thinks we're going to take over the couch and he has no place to go.
And he feels safe up there.
Right. So we don't see that coming until we educate ourselves how to approach these things. And that's where the training model comes in, explain to you why that happens, right? And even the new book is coming out with Linda in a couple of weeks. It actually has references. So it's not just blah, 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 somebody telling stories about dog training like everybody else does. It says, you know what? This is the science that we have right now. This is the knowledge that we have. And this is how you solve it. Well, I'm going also to another level, and it says, you know what? It's not just a training and a person. It's a relationship and a dog and a person. And this relationship have a solid foundation. And it's not just training, it's also relationship. But it's also not just relationship. It's also coexistence and synergistic living. So it's not just a pet. It's we're sharing our lives with a dog who we call from our ancestors man's best friend. It's the only species we call man's best friend. And I think we should be aware of that the man's best friend was a guardian breed in the very beginning. And the hunting dog, these two species were there. And from there's all the pets that we have right now basically evolved the last couple of 100 years. They weren't like that before. So if we are here having a chat on the internet, is because these dogs back then kept us safe from predators and wild animals and help us survive in wilderness. They help us get organized. They showed us our organization looks like in a group of 3 to 13 dogs. And so we learned from them and they learned from us, and we coexist until recently, where now they're just pets.
And they're disposables.
Right. It's kind of like having a subscription to, these online buying systems where you don't like it, you just send it back and want your money back because you don't like it. Right. Going like that.
Always remember that if you've had your dog for a while, especially from a puppy, for example, because I just had this the other day. These folks got the puppies, 8-week-old puppy is early weaned. Okay. But anyway, that's a different show. So they've had a puppy since 8 weeks old. Now the puppy's 3 years old and they don't like the way the dog's acting. You taught them their behavior. Okay. Behavior is learned. And if you inadvertently taught them to, do whatever it is they're doing, then let's show them a different way. Okay.
This is where dissociation comes in. It wasn't my fault that a dog is aggressive. I tried everything that I knew. He didn't just learn it. You know?
Yeah. They're not born that way. Okay.
No.
So anyway, wow, we're on overtime, Roman. Will you post that in the comments, the hierarchy manual?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll do it.
That way everybody can have it. Okay. This isn't a secret. This is extremely effective. I've been, well, basically accidentally using some of this for years. Okay. With the Great Pyrenees. And then Linda came up with it in writing. I'm thinking, I've looked at that and I thought, wow, because I can't put that down in writing. I have enough trouble talking.
Well,
all right.
Yeah, we have all these good ideas and we do it every day, but we don't have time to write it down. And then finally we find somebody who actually does write it down, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. And just like Kelsey over there at It's Dog or Nothing website, look at the ability she has to write it down so people can understand it. And she gets it out on her blog and her Facebook. And usually it's information about all things Great Pyrenees. So anyway, wow, what a show, Roman. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me here today, even if I chime in a little bit later.
Yeah. This was awesome. Okay. Hierarchy of the dog's needs. Never forget that, because you have your own hierarchy of needs, but you see, you're able to kind of meet them yourself sometimes. Okay. Dog doesn't have that ability. He doesn't have thumbs. He can't drive to the store. Okay. So you have to help. It's, and always remember, except for Max and I can't remember the girl's name, Masha, your dog didn't call you up and say, please come get me. I promise I'll do everything you say. That's not how this went. You went and took your dog and forced him into a relationship. Okay. But and I want to use Stacy and Lance as an example. They have 10 dogs. I don't know how many of them. I know there's at least 6 of them that eat side by side in a circle with no food aggression. You saw the toys on the floor with 2 of our guests. No food aggression. Why is that? Because they feel safe. Okay. They're safe.
And if you guys have a problem with any of your dogs, don't wait until it escalates. If your dog gets in a fight with a dog, it's an already alarming system, right? You don't have to wait for a second and a third one, or maybe a vet visit to find help. It's cheaper if you do it right away. It gets more expensive if you wait too long.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are simple things like the dog is sick. Maybe it's just, go there and Steve and I can actually, with one session, we can find out what the root cause of that behavior is. And then we can go send you in the right directions. See it like a hub. You don't know where to start. We're going to tell you where to start. Start here, then you go there, and you do that. And by the way, you already improve your situation because your dog doesn't get in a fight, because you get instructions how to not let it happen. People don't think of safety measures because we deal with that every day. Like, oh, yeah, I can put a baby gate on. I didn't think of that. Or I can utilize my garage temporary until I figure out what's going on with my dog. I cannot bring my dog to the vet. The vet can come to me, for example, Okay, let's do the pulling. Let's
do the draw. Thank you, Roman, for coming on. You can go to Roman's website, holisticdogtraining.org, right?
And of course, you can share it. Don't be resource guarding of this kind of information.
Yeah, don't hoard it.
No,
don't resource guard it, and don't show your teeth if somebody wants to see it. Okay, because they might misunderstand and call you aggressive, and then send you to the shelter.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, everybody. Good luck. Here we go. And whoever wins this, I think we're gonna get back Roman. I remember. Hey, Carol. Wow. One more time you win, you can't enter anymore. You know that. Congratulations, Carol. You're hogging all the leeches.
You can do another draw for those unlucky ones.
Okay. What do we have that we're going to draw for, Roman?
This is a book for your kids. It gives you a couple of homeworks. It says Introduction to Holistic Dog Training and Caregiving. Okay, it's binded. It's fresh print. Okay. And I'm donating it to one of your winners.
Okay.
Of course,
And
Carol doesn't play. You know what? Everybody, just be quick.
Yeah.
Do another round.
Hashtag GPRM. You don't have, if you've already entered, you don't have to re-enter. Okay. So wow, let's get ready to draw again. All right. I'll give you about 5 seconds. Time's up. Because we're on overtime. So we're going to draw again. And the winners, if you would be so kind as to, you just want them to send me the email, Roman, and I'll forward it to you. Wow, Judy won. And
Okay.
Judy needs it. Now, she may donate it. We'll see. Judy will get a hold of me. I'll let you know, Roman. I think you've talked to Judy in the past. Possibly. Maybe not. But, wow. Anyway, Carol, you know the routine. Send me the email with your address again. That way I can keep track of this, okay? That way I know if you win too many times. Shoot, Nancy, she's won 3 times if I remember right. But way to go, Judy.
And if you didn't win it and you still won it, you can still message me, and we're going to talk about it, how you can get it. Wow,
there you go. So, Carol, congratulations. Judy, congratulations. Peer Rescue and Sanctuary. They're in Peyton, Colorado. They save a lot of dogs. They adopt a lot of dogs. They're just needed. Okay, just like any rescue, we're needed. And but congratulations. We got to hit the road here in a second. Judy just said she's keeping it. All right, she wants that. So, and I think it's very beneficial for her. All right. So, all right, everybody, we're out of here. Roman, thanks so much for coming. And we'll hopefully you can come back next week and we'll have another awesome talking point. And there could be some questions on the hierarchy too. We don't know. But you're usually here. So, all right, everybody. Bye. Bye, Roman.
Bye-bye.